Most of those against the rate increase were representatives of the Dallas chapter of the People's Party. But one of the party's spokesmen got into a heated argument with the council after he was asked to leave the podium when he spoke longer than his allotted time.
It's going to take me about 3 minutes to read these things, and I don't know how long it's going to take y'all to answer.
Now, I don't think that's fair, with as many people here as wish to speak on this subject, for us to give this speaker...
Well, we provided 6 weeks of work on this, which we submitted to y'all. I ain't even convinced y'all provided an hour work on it.
Listen, Mr. Mayor, after we hear the other people. That's what I feel. Now,
well, I want the certification now.
Young finally left the chamber when he was confronted by several plainclothes policemen. Then the council got down to deciding what it should do about the rate increase. Councilman George Allen made a substitute motion that the hike not apply to those who use 300 kilowatt hours of electricity or less per month, an attempt to protect those on fixed incomes. But Allen's attempt failed and was followed by the vote to grant the increase requested by Dallas Power and Light, with Allen casting the only negative vote. The increase approved by the council will mean about $1 a month more on the average residential bill in Dallas, but the hike will not take effect until DP&L gets approval for it from the Federal Price Commission in Washington. Jack Hill, Channel 8 News on the Move.
Well, there are 2 reasons. First are personal reasons, and these are important to me. But second, I've been a party official continuously for over 15 years, and I've come to the decision that I think the party can best be served by having new leadership in this position.
Does that mean that you're perhaps getting a little tired of working in politics?
Well, I think that I've done my share, and it's just time for a new person in this leadership position that I've held for this.
What are your plans for the future then?
Well, I have some personal plans, and as far as politics are concerned, which I take it to be your remark, I'm going to step back for a while and sort of take stock and observe things before I make a decision to commit my time to anything political.
Elizabeth, how many Valentines did you get?
24.
24? Is that one from everybody in the class?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you get one from your boyfriend?
I don't have a boyfriend.
Do you know why people give Valentines to people?
Because the wolves came to these people and they thought a special God helped them from the wolves, and they saw birds pick a partner, and they always had a party on February the 14th.
Oh, I never heard that before. Who's that Valentine from? You mean it's a secret Valentine?
It didn't say who it's from.
Do you think it's from a secret girlfriend?
I don't know.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
Are you a little young to have a girlfriend, or you just don't like girls?
I don't like girls.
on the line.
Asking to be generated by this rate increase. Obviously, our
The judge has made about 19 pages of findings of fact and conclusions of law, summarized first that many provisions are vague and indefinite and therefore unenforceable. Second, that the ordinance as a whole does discriminate against the smaller businesses. And third, that there are instances of taking a private property without just compensation by reason of the provisions of the ordinance.
Well, according to the city attorney, who gave us a thumbnail rundown on what this meant today, we will simply revert back to the old ordinance. It now remains to be seen whether the interim committee, the sign committee, will come up with one still be satisfactory to the sign industry and to the environmentalist also. That would certainly be hoped for, and that's what we had hoped for previously. Of course, the sign people argued all along that if the previous sign ordinance had been enforced, that there would be no real complaint. I think the city will still go forward with an attempt to create enforcement of the old ordinance.
Last week, according to all reports, the Fort Worth City Council members were unanimously behind the bond election for April 11th to pay for the city's part of purchasing the Fort Worth Transit Company and to pay for a new central library. But the unity of the council faltered in pre-council meeting this morning. Councilman Jess Johnston and Leonard Briscoe said they would vote against the bond election proposal if it was put to a vote today. Johnston says he is not against the funding of the library or the bus company purchase, but he doesn't feel a bond election is necessary.
The Certificate Obligation Act was passed in 1971, which gave the councils the right and the responsibility to manage the city. I feel as a duly elected board of directors that it's incumbent upon us to do the things we were elected to do. I don't think they're necessary. I think at this point the calling of a bond election is an avoidance by the council of the responsibilities that they were sworn in to take care of.
Johnston said the bond election would cost about $30,000. That's an expense he feels could be avoided if the council would pass certificates of obligation for the required $9 million. The council voted in other action for a proposed contract between Fort Worth and Dallas to furnish ground transportation for the new regional airport in 1973. Dallas Transit will be the single operator of the bus system, with limousine and taxicab service contracted out. The system will be known as the Dallas-Fort Worth Surtran system. Jim Green, Channel 8 News on the Move in Fort Worth.
My first act as governor would be to send a comprehensive message to the state legislature, embodying in detail concrete recommendations as to what could be done for the streamlining of the government, with a recommendation that they take action on it, and with the knowledge of the people that I have made this recommendation so that hopefully we could get something out of the legislature.
Do you think the legislators themselves are falling down, or is it the fault of the way the state government is run?
I think basically it may be the fault of the way the state government is being run. I would not want to pick any quarrel with any particular legislature. However, we have had the rather intriguing spectacle of a bunch of legislators sitting around and passing an ethics bill, which the Attorney General promptly declared to be unconstitutional on grounds that a first-year law student would have made it unconstitutional.
No. So ordered.
G, 1920.
I refer to low-income people who, because of the economics of their situation, they can do no better than burn whichever number of lights necessary to keep their home illuminated, and maybe keep a washing machine going to keep the clothing of their families clean.